Hello everyone, welcome to Redmen TV. I'm Steve Hood, this is Jay Pearson and Sam Walker here for the match preview show. It's Liverpool versus West Ham in the Carabao Cup quarter-final Wednesday night at Anfield. Yeah, we're going to have a little chat about the League Cup as a whole, in general rather. We are recording this before Pep Lijnders' press conference, so we think we know a bit of injury news, but obviously bear that in mind as we chat along as well. Gents, thanks for joining us. Jay, I'll come to you first, you don't mind, mate. It's an interesting one, this, because it's a quarter-final of a cup competition. It sits in between two very, very big games, the first of which Liverpool probably disappointed really to only get a draw with, like Man United. Arsenal's on the horizon Saturday afternoon, but yet it is still a quarter-final. The manager's got decisions to make of how strong he wants to go, how desperately does he want to win the cup, what's he thinking of Arsenal on Saturday. Bear in mind then, Burnley is the Tuesday. There's a lot to take into account here, and what way do you see him going? Do you see him going, he did it against Leicester a few years ago, he did the kids a few, and then went strong with his subs, but Liverpool have just come off the back of a poor performance. Maybe he wants to play a few into form. It is a difficult one selection-wise to get to quite wrap your head around what he's going to do.
Yeah, I don't think form's going to come into it. I think based on the fact that we did drop points at the weekend, it makes the onus on Arsenal more now because of obviously the top of the league and we can go above him. So I do believe that he'll take the Arsenal game as a priority over the Carabao Cup. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see a stronger lineup because I think once you get to this sort of stage of the competition with the Carabao, you're not that far from a day out at Wembley. And we had this chat earlier, didn't we, about like the Carabao's quite a good day out. So I won't mind getting to that. But there's no way I'm sacrificing this for 3 points on Arsenal. You give me the option of going out tonight, but you guarantee me 3 points on Saturday. I know which one I'm taking.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one, isn't it, Sam? Because like Liverpool are probably a little bit ahead of where we all. I don't think anyone's really expecting a title challenge per se. I think we all expect the City to just the fact that they've slipped off a little bit has really opened up a door for everybody. On the flip side, there's a lot of lads who haven't never won anything for Liverpool. Not a lot of new players rather. It'd be interesting to see what Jurgen does because, like I say, a few years ago against Leicester at a very similar stage, he went. Billy Koumetio played, Tyler Morton played. And he made subs at half-time and he brought the big guns on and Liverpool got back to obviously win on penalties. That is a potential option because we know there's no extra time. So if you bring, say for example, you bring Salah on at 45, he's getting 45, he's not getting that extra half hour as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes about it. What do you reckon he'll do?
Well, I think one of the things that I've kind of been harping on about a lot this season is that if you look at our minutes, all right, recently there's been a bit more sway because we have actually kind of almost had to go down the Newcastle route of playing the same team. There's been the odd little change, but our lads haven't gone away in Europe every week and had to play like Arsenal, United, Newcastle, City, to an extent West Ham, even Villa a little bit less, and Brighton have had to go hard and really play the European Premier League sort of best team they possibly could, with little bits of rotation. We haven't done that. We've utilised our whole squad and some young players this year. So when you look at the minutes of the players, we should be able to play this game. We should be able to play almost a stronger team on Wednesday and then go again on Saturday because that's what we used to do. Trent hasn't done that this season. He's had a little injury as well. He hasn't got the minutes that he usually has at Christmas in a Premier League season because we're not in the Champions League. So why can't we treat this game as a Champions League game? Go hard and then go the weekend because Arsenal did last week and beat Brighton. So for me, I think we should be looking at this as I disagree with the whole notion as well as I take 3 points on Saturday. I never want to lose a game of football at home especially. Yeah. But you can lose at the weekend, go 4 points behind Arsenal and still win the league by 10 points in May. It's happened loads of times before with teams. They could go and lose their next game and suddenly it's flip back. If you get knocked out tomorrow, a competition that Man City aren't in, we're out. Arsenal aren't in it as well, by the way. As neither are United anymore. Spurs, Brighton. So what if we throw that away? Then we're looking at Saturday and then an FA Cup away game at Villa at Arsenal. Then you got a chance to go to Wembley. You got a chance to win a trophy with this game. So I would actually be prioritising getting through to the semi-final.
Yeah, suppose well, Jay. The Leicester game of reference a few years ago. Leicester. They picked their full team. They were up and down. Leicester at that point weren't they? They were all right. They were a decent side, just like West Ham are now. I was looking at West Ham. They've just come off the back of a very good win. Now they're without Antonio. Paqueta went off injured. Well, he went off, so we'll see how he is, I think, later on. But other than that, West Ham got a full strength team. We all know David Moyes' record at Anfield is atrocious. they're coming here to win this because they're exactly like what's that? They'll say, City are out. You know, there's no Arsenal, there's no United, there's no Tottenham.
Chelsea, Newcastle play
each other. If we can knock Liverpool out, it's going to be us. One of Everton and Fulham, one of Middlesbrough and Port Vale, and one of Chelsea and Newcastle. We'll really fancy it. So I think we're going to see a very strong West Ham, which might say to Jurgen, you know, given out a few of the young lads got on the other day against Union, which again was a mixed team, but some of them really did struggle. He might not want to feed them to a really good West Ham team because you can really damage those kids if they, you know. I for example, we haven't seen Billy Cometio really since that Leicester game. No. He got dragged at half time and that was him. He's pretty much been done. You can really, you don't want to, you know, if they pick Jared Bowen and they pick the big guns that, you know, Kudus who's in really good form, and these young lads struggle, it can be psychologically really tough on them. I do wonder if that plays into his thinking as well.
Yeah, it will do, but Sam's making a good point as well. You know, at the end of the day, you can bring this forward now to thinking, right, well, we need a better performance than what we had at the weekend now. If we're going to go to Arsenal with our strongest 11 like we would, I don't want that to be the next game after we've played United with our strongest 11 plays. Yeah. Get them out on the field on Wednesday and show them what you can do again and get that bit of form, bit of confidence back in, because they will be hurting after the weekend. And if Jurgen does play his strongest side, then I feel sorry for West Ham because we're all going to be up for it. I mean, there's a lot was said about the atmosphere at the weekend and stuff like that, so a lot of things are going to change against West Ham.
I was looking at the injuries. The differences, Sam, look at our injury list. Yeah. So Matip, Thiago, Robertson, Gravenberch, Jota, McAllister, Bacchetic. Like there's Liverpool are missing quite a few. We'll see how now there's talk Jota touch and go, so we'll see. But other than that, there are injuries. Like you're looking at if you're rotating your team, there aren't too many options really. There's something a centre back he could do. Maybe a little bit of full back, and then one of the front three. Ben Doak's even injured. He done his knee the other day apparently. Yeah, so he was playing for the 21s and went off early. So there aren't too many options for Jurgen to change things really in terms of how he goes. If we start through the team, we think Kelleher will probably in goal, so that'd be one. You think he'd change that? So. Defensively, I don't think Virgil will play. I think he'll go Kwanzaa and Gomez.
But you know the way we just talk about West Ham, they're going full hilt. Haven't they just gone full hilt like twice a week for like the last 3 weeks? Like, like if they do that again, why can't we? Like, why can West Ham play all their players 5 games in like the space of like 20 days? But Van Dijk, who didn't travel on Thursday, can't play Wednesday. I think he can. 3 games at home. But this
it's that worry though, isn't it? What happened? Like you got old social media saying, but if he gets injured, what? You know what I mean?
But if we're in the Champions League next year, or even if we get to the Europa League quarterfinals, Van Dijk's going to play twice a week. So, like, this is what I'm saying. We're at home as well. Yeah, these lads will want to play football for 57,000. So, even if you said to him, right, Konate, you're going to play first 45, Virgil, you're playing second, and we're going to play Gomez and Kwanzaa for 90. You know, like I just feel as though we're looking at the season almost on previous years, like where we've had loads of footy. These lads have missed loads of Thursday games.
No, it's a good point. Yeah,
but the flip side of that is West Ham might actually rotate a lot more because of they
play early Saturday as well. It's worth mentioning.
Do they? Yeah, Saturday, so. And they'll want to win that at home. So
yeah, it's a difficult one. Let's have a little look at the competition as a whole, Jay, because this feeds into it really. I mentioned it before. At time recording tonight, Everton host Fulham, Port Vale host Middlesbrough, and Chelsea host Newcastle. Liverpool will know by the who's into the next round. We're prohibitive favourites to win this now, by the way. The bookies have got us big favourites. It's there. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you're not far away really from. Listen. The draw is the draw, but you could get one at Port Vale or Middlesbrough 2 legs over, you know, and you'd be absolutely flying with it. And Liverpool, those teams deserve to be there, but Liverpool would take that if they got offered it. You could get Fulham, you could get Everton, Chelsea, whatever you could get. I think Jurgen, after last season and the misery of last season, I think he would have said to him, you know, top 4 finish in a cup, he'd have bit your hand off. I think he would have. Now, it turns out we're in a title race now, but I wonder if that does change his thinking compared to what his goals probably were in the season, because as teams left in a competition go, that's about as good as you're going to get if you're Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. You look at some of those fixtures and you think, right, well, if they're your next couple of league games, you're going, yeah, get in. You know, things are looking up and you think, how many points you can get from them. So I agree, like I said to you at the start of the show, once you get to this part of the competition, it does change slightly because you think Wembley's in sight. When you look at that graphic and you see the teams on it, you go, yeah, I mean, we all had a great day out at Wembley, didn't we? 2022 for the final. It was absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And why can't we have that again? Because I tell you what, a nice little cup tie in February. And a win shows you just how much of a run you can go on, and we proved that.
Absolutely. We've got a comment here from Dom who says, I hope we go full strength, and I'm getting the sense some of the guys do as well. We'll try and pick a Liverpool team for the game in a moment. Before we do, I want to do the latest of our Redmen Legend prize draws. We're giving away 4 of these little bad boys. Look at these. Soccer stars. How cool are they, by the way? We've got Virgil Mo, Kurt Jones, and... Oh, shit. Darwin Nunez. I mean, that's fraudulent. If there's ever been an encapsulation of Darwin recently, I've just dropped him on the floor.
That's hilarious.
They're proper 90s them. They remind me of the Corinthians back in the day.
Yeah, they're all like the little fun. You used to get them in chocolate bar. But anyway, these are our soccer stars now. If you want to get involved in these competitions, redmenplus.com, sign up as a legend. There's still loads of prizes to give away between now and Christmas. What are we on the 19th? That's Sheffield Watch there. So we've still got a programme signed by Jamie Carragher. We've got a shirt signed by Ibu Konate. Loads and loads to give away. Go to Redmen Plus, sign up as a legend, and get yourselves involved. Let's do the draw now. Then see who's winning those 4 little bad boys. Let's give them away now to one lucky winner. Drum roll. And congratulations and well done. The wheel has stopped on Glenn's Empire. Let's go with that. Glenn's Empire. I think that's the name. So thank you for being a subscriber, Glenn. I'm guessing your name's Glenn. And it will be, the 4 soccer stars will be on their way to you. Like I say, get yourselves involved, redmenplus.com. On Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, a very special feature will be coming out as well. Jay is working on it for us as we speak. The top 50 Liverpool signings of all time, a countdown from number 50 to number 1 as voted by you guys, the fans. We put this out on socials and all our websites. Over 7,000 people voted. There is a definitive list. That'll be out Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, 2 parts on redmenplus.com. Go and get yourselves out. It's an absolute belter. You happy with it?
Extremely. It's an eye-opener.
Did you vote?
I didn't vote, no.
I didn't vote.
I didn't vote. But it's it's definitely an eye over some of the names on the list, but it makes for a great watch.
The top of the list is interesting.
Yeah.
Some big names. Some Liverpool have some really good players down the years. Let's keep it that way. Right then, let's go back to it, Sam, because, like I say, at time recording, just to clarify, we've had no press conference from Pep Linders yet. We'll see. We're going to presume everyone's out, including Ryan Gravenberch, who went off the other day. If anyone's back, absolute bonus. But we're going to go on the basis that these players are... We're going to say Matip, Thiago, Robertson, Gravenberch, Jota, McAllister and Bajcetic. We're going to rule them out. We're going to think that out. If any of them are back, fantastic. Hopefully they are, but let's just go with that for now. Kelleher starts the League Cup.
Yeah.
Is there any way he doesn't do that? Do you think?
No, I think he will. I think that's one of the positions that he'll keep. Same with West Ham. I think they'll flip their goalies round as well, just because it's about team morale, and if Kelleher's going to improve, he needs to keep playing games. It's at Anfield. It's his competition, isn't it? He's won it before for us. Scored the winner in the penalty shootout. So good omens.
West Ham play Fabianski in the last round, for example. He hasn't been in goal.
He's been Ariola's been playing for them, hasn't he? Yeah, that's what I mean.
So they've done the same thing.
He's always has a good game in Anfield, Fabianski, don't he?
True.
Yeah, he's on it. Right then, defensively then, Jay, it's interesting because if you look what happened at the weekend, obviously we know the team who played. There's always Konate worries you, doesn't he? Basically, he is one that you've had to look after. What do you think he does a centre-back? Because Sam maybe thinks Van Dijk. I tend to think maybe not. What do you think he's going to do a centre-back? I
agree with Sam. I don't think Van Dijk is... I mean, it's one of them. I'd like to see him start the game because, like I said before I get to this stage, but I'm feeling Kwanzaa gets a game because he's not really put a foot wrong. I think he's great.
With who, though?
With Konate.
Konate goes again.
And then Gomez goes right back.
Okay.
I think it might be the other way around with Konate.
Yeah, again, but I wouldn't.
Only because he's been a bit flaky with injury, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think the right back thing's interesting. I think Trent will play.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I really hope he does.
I think I don't know. It's just like we don't know. It's a guess. Yeah. I think he's going to go pretty strong. I think he wants a reaction from the weekend, and like you said, I think he'll say to them this week, we're going to go, and then you get a week off after Tuesday before Newcastle on the following Monday. That's when you can have your little break. You're used to doing it anyway. You're right. We're used to playing all these games. We don't really rest and rotate. If they are going to rotate, I think it'll be Burnley on Boxing Day. I think he'll go strong, and then a little bit of changes at Burnley. I think he's going to go Trent, Gomez, Kwanzaa, Tsimikas.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think he's got Conor Bradley and Luke Chambers. Sam, I'll come to you.
Yeah.
Against Union, they struggle physically. They're fine players. Technically, they're really good, but they did get the physical challenge was a lot for them. Coming up against a very physical West Ham side, your Součeks and your Kufals and even Bowens, strong, quick. It does feel like that might be one level too much for those two, perhaps.
I agree. Yeah, I think I'm a really big fan of Bowen. I think he's quality. Genuinely do. I think he's second best right winger in the league, maybe third with Saka actually, but I think he's quality, and I think you've got to look after the young lads there. But there's an opportunity in the game. Look, if Bowen starts, he might not do the full 90. If he doesn't start, he might come on, but Chambers might come on and get 20 minutes at the end, because there still will be a sense of game management in this, but it's the intent, isn't it, that's there. So those two, you just mentioned the two fullbacks, there's a good chance they get on the pitch, but this is not a dead rubber. So to start them both, and especially together, is a big risk. So you could be right there.
Question here comes, well, I say question, it's a comment from Charlie. I reckon sent in the 6 is this might do it. Let's move the 6 down, because Endo has played a lot of footy recently. Obviously McCall's been out. Endo's been playing. The manager's been moving Trent into the midfield throughout games. Is there a chance he just does that from the start, do you think?
This is what I was saying about Gomez being at fullback. I think it's a great opportunity at home in Carabao with a bit of changes to just go on, Trent, crack on. Because I think at the weekend, when he did move into that position, we were a little bit better. And obviously we all know what happened at Fulham and that type of thing. And so I think that's a really good opportunity just to test
Gomez
it out.
has been excellent at right back.
Yeah, Gomez, not put a foot wrong. So
and he has an attacking threat. Yeah, it's certainly an option. Charlie makes a good point. I think, if you were picking players on form, Sam Szoboszlai would be on the bench.
Yeah.
He would.
Yeah.
He's having a hard time of it. He could be. The reverse is to just try and get him back into a bit of form. Do you just say, I want you against Arsenal, I want you in some type of nick. You can start him or you can bring him on. But I do think you're going to want to get some minutes. I think Szoboszlai will get on the pitch. He got on against Leicester in previous round, scored a very good goal. I wouldn't be shocked if he went again with him. I know he has played quite a lot of minutes, but given he's been on a little bit of a down path a little bit, his form has been sketchy, I do think Jürgen would like to get some minutes into him, just whether it's from the start or off the bench, I suppose.
Yeah, I think he's a key player for us, but I think it's more about Harvey and Curtis that he doesn't start. I like that idea of Trent being in the 6, by the way. It makes a lot of sense, because you can't keep flogging Endo. We don't know when McAllister's going to be back, so although it's shit being in the change rooms, they threw a lot of people, didn't they? So I think he might bring him on, or he plays him right mid, but I don't think he starts in that 8. I think it's Elliot's share for this game, for this cup, or at least till now anyway, as it was in the the Europa Leagues. So I personally think that if Szoboszlai does play, it won't be in that normal position, it'll be wide. I completely agree with the notion he needs something, but it might well be that he plays last half an hour fresh as a daisy and causes chaos.
I agree.
Yeah.
Charlie says, don't get what Elliot has to do to get a start. I think Elliot's one you should bank on starting, and he has been one of the better players in recent weeks. If you're talking about form, even if it was a league game, he'd probably deserve to be on form ahead of Szoboszlai, given he's having a little dip. I'd be shocked if Elliot didn't start this one.
Yeah, same here, mate. And there's a human factor as well, because for anybody out there that's managed teams, doesn't matter whether it's a football team or in corporate, you've got so many people to look after, and you've got to keep everybody happy to for them to do the job at the end of the day. And Elliot, again, not really put a foot wrong lately, especially against Palace. He came on. Some people might say he's better coming on as a sub these days than he is starting games, and there might be a little bit of truth to that. But to give that young lad confidence, I know when I was his age, I needed someone to give me a hug and put a pat on the back and be like, "Come on, mate, you're okay." And he's going to be like that. But it's like Sam said before, these games are made for players like that. So I do believe that Elliot starts.
Yeah, and we'll see how that one pans out as well. Jones. It's got to be on it. It's got to
be Curtis, because he's likely going to be involved the weekend.
That left-hand side's interesting. With Gravenberch being out.
That's what's changed things now. Yeah. If he's definitely out, then there's I think we could have predicted it a bit easier. Yeah,
it looks like he probably could be. And then I suppose then, Sam, the question is which 3 of the 4? I think Gakpo starts.
I do as well.
It's just he can go left for Diaz or he can go front for Nunes. I think Salah's going to play, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I do as well. I think. Well, the funny thing is, Diaz didn't get on the pitch on Thursday either, did he? So we had that whole week off in terms of match minutes. And this is where this week might have been in the minds of the manager then. The thing is with the Gakpo-Nunes axis, let's call it, is that depending on the way you play as a team, will suit either. If we're playing in a way that it's about bringing Gakpo into the game, coming into the centre, wingers going forward, the old Liverpool way, it makes sense. If you're trying to get the ball forward quickly, You've got to get it forward quickly, which we haven't done, and Nunes obviously got to react to that. I actually think this game won't be as gridlocked as Saturday. I actually think West Ham will play. What have they got to lose? You know what I mean? Like, there's no real... If they come to Liverpool and lose, they can do that anyway.
You could say it's a cup tie. But it's true though, isn't it? There's a different element to that.
There's probably a bit more basketball to it in terms and the personnel on the pitch for both teams. So it might suit Nunes to play and get a bit of space in behind at times.
Just the way this works out, it's worked out right just before we speak. Pepper Linders has given an update on Liverpool's injured players. He says, Gravenberch, he said, we thought there was something wrong, blah, blah, blah. Turns out it was only fatigue. He'll train today, so that might be, he says DOMS. But basically says DOMS, so they're going to give him a bit of time off. He should be fine for Arsenal, all being well. Yeah. Alexis is progressing well, he doesn't have any pain anymore. It was worse than we thought, but he's progressing, there's no pain. Let's see if we can, that feels another Arsenal potential one does. Jota is back to doing ball work on the pitch, but with hamstring injuries we have to be careful. Give them another 2 or 3 days. Looks like Arsenal. Yeah. Ben Doak has torn his lateral meniscus and needs surgery. Which is that's going to take that could be a long time out for Ben Doak, unfortunately. So a bit of positive news and end on a sour note. So we're not going to see any Ben Doak, and he might have been one who was at least on the bench.
Yeah. Thiago there, Mitch.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what that means then, Jay, actually, with all that being said, is he could actually go, if he's got more options for Saturday, he could go pretty strong here. He could have 1 or 2 of these lads to jump back in on Saturday. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might not be asking the players to go. You might not be asking Elliot to go again because Gravenberch might be ready. So that's interesting from Pepper. That might even make Liverpool a bit more stronger tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thinking about that 3 midfield now, where if it's Trent, Elliot, and Jones, it's quite a small. But it's technically very, very good.
That's the thing when you play West Ham, they are massive.
They are.
That was my Jones just taught. To be fair, it's I think if it's Endo, Elliot, and Gravenberch, that's when it looked. You might be thinking. And now Endo's good in the air. Don't get me wrong, but that's why I was thinking maybe the time if you go Gomez, and especially if Gomez is at right back, you've got that bit of height there to get something through them. But there's the injury update. Shout out to Ben Doak. Hopefully it all goes well with that knee injury because that's a bad one.
Tell you what, we don't have any luck with young players coming through. Katie Gordon, Bachetic, him. They reach a point and something happens.
Yeah, I mean we might see a bit of Kate Gordon. There's a good chance Kate gets on the bench now, doesn't he, as well? Definitely. I spoke to Neil Jones earlier on Jane, and he said I wouldn't be shocked if he started Gordon with a view of getting someone off the bench at half time. Because if you're going to rest players, rest them at the start. And then you can bring the big guns on, because if your plan is to give Darwin 45, you could be 2-0 down and you're taking Darwin Nunes off for Gordon. At least from a psychological point of view, if it's the other way around. Now at the moment, I don't know who's more likely to score, Darwin or Cade, but that's the other thing there. So yeah, we'll find out what the team is, but I think we're all agreed that Leicester game when he started playing 3 or 4 kids, we're not seeing it.
That's not going to happen.
Do you see any young players in any of them in the team? They'll be on the bench, but I'm thinking. The ones who've got a chance would be Bradley, Chambers, McConnell, and Gordon are probably the 4. Can we see any of them start?
The only way is if Tsimikas, because with the right back situation, you got Trent, you got Gomez. It would be well, I suppose what it might say is how much Klopp backs maybe Bradley, but there's a possibility, depending on where Robbo's at, that if he's looking at Tsimikas going right, I've got Robbo back for Newcastle, or on the bench at least, or something like that. He might go, I'm just going to ask you to go again. But if he's not, he might go, I need to look after you for a few more weeks. So again, otherwise you said stay on the bench, and we bring you on second half to ensure we win the game or we get back into the game.
We'll see how West Ham go. But if they go, they've been playing Jarabona as a striker, but they've had Kudus. A bit of interchange with Kudus. They've had Paqueta who went off to, we'll see how he is, Ward-Prowse. They've got a very good attacking line-up, Jay, as well. Behind that, Alvarez and Suchek, they're a strong team. Given that, again, and it's worth mentioning, it was a dead rubber game and there wasn't a lot going on for Liverpool there. I did feel like the physicality was hard in that game for a lot of players. West Ham are going to bring that. That's what they've got in abundance. David Moyes has built a strong, powerful, technically good team. I don't know, starting the youngsters and then bringing the big guns on, you might be out the game. That is a genuine concern, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing. Well, some people say you start with the youngsters, you win the game, and then you bring them on just in case. But for me, I'm the other way around. Start strong, get it ended on 45, then bring them all off. That's the way I would do it.
But the thing is, even that's probably being optimistic.
Very
West
optimistic.
Ham are great. West Ham are a good team.
West Ham are a good team. They really, really are. And every year they've come to Anfield, they've been very, very physical. And it's been... I mean, you might correct me now, but the last time I can think of us battering West Ham was 18-19 at home. That was the last time I could think. But like,
we were quite. I know they scored to make it. Was it 1-1? But
Bowen scored a good header. Header.
But we dominated the game from that point. We won 3-1. It was quite.
It took a while for Jota to get that goal, though. It was like the 85th minute before they wrapped it up properly.
I remember being in the game not feeling like West Ham were going to get. You know what I mean? It felt like we were in control of the game. It's a bit like the Villa game this year.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what you say, Steve, is bang on, and I think the only thing that could wobble that is, can West Ham just go again with that same team and then have United at the weekend? Do they really want to? Do they think they can win this competition? Yes, but do they think that re-qualifying for Europe is as important or more important than, because remember last year they only qualified by winning the competition? That's a big ask. I suppose they could finish 8th this year.
But if they win this, then
it's that tough balance. I don't know where their squad's at. I suppose West Ham TV or whatever would know, or their JNOs. So I suppose if they've got all these big hitters playing, we've got a problem. But I probably think they probably have 8 of them playing, maybe 3 or 4 max of their rotated players, which then it might not look like Souček, Alvarez, Bowen, obviously Paqueta, Kudos. It might look a bit different. Do you know what I mean? I don't know who else is there. Who's their alternatives?
It's going to be interesting how they plan it out. Well, I'll tell you, for example, the other day, I'll just bring their team up that played and then obviously come off the bench.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. But I know Paqueta went off. Let's have a little look. West Ham Wolves. So line up. They started Fabianski in goal, I think it was right.
Okay.
Yeah. Kufal, Zuma, Aguerd, Emerson, Alvarez and Souček, Kudos, Prowse, Paqueta, Bowen, and then Fornals, Ings.
Oh, Danny Ings.
They've got Cresswell, they've got Bonner, they've got Ben Rama, so they've got good players they can bring in. But you're right.
Will they be on a promise in the same way Kelleher is and Elliott is?
Exactly.
The likelihood is they are, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, KJ says Hammers are definitely going to put a strong squad up, maybe take advantage of us resting players. And that you are right. What can quickly happen, Jay, is if you lose, all of a sudden one bad result becomes 2, and then there's a snowball going into Arsenal, and the mood's a bit glum. And as much as I don't think like there'll be people who are counting minutes and like physicality going, it's just all about that. I do think Jürgen plays on that. I think he thinks, do we want to go into a big game against Arsenal on the back of a draw and get knocked out the cup with lame? I do think that
especially some of our fan base as well.
Yeah,
it's good because they're so passionate. It is sometimes, you lose a game or you draw and it is the end of the world. And don't get me wrong, after that United game at the weekend, I was fuming and I was so angry at that because they were there for the taking, weren't we? Dominated them. But, you sleep on it and you go, well, I'd have bit your hand off for this opportunity at this point based on what happened last season. So it's not that big a deal. We beat Arsenal. We're going to be above them in the table. City still don't play for a couple of weeks. So psychologically, you can be ahead of them, in the table. Yeah. So it's not as bad as what we think. You know what I mean? So this is where I'm looking at the Carabao going, do you know what? This is another opportunity to get to Wembley to possibly get a trophy. You grab it with both hands. Yeah, I think 3 hands is because it's got 3 handles.
3 handles, yeah. You get one. Someone else going to grab one as well, yeah. Or grab.
Do the shared weird lift that they done last year at United. It was like, who's captain? You captain. And we're both kind of lifted. Do you remember that? Weird.
Someone lift the cup up, lads. Someone lift the cup up. Right then, with all that being said, Jay, do you think we're going to go through?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would be sat here and confident of Liverpool fan if we didn't.
Yeah,
got to be confident, yeah. I think we will. Yeah. I can't see
tough game.
Very tough game, mate. I see this being a frustrating game where we get into the second half. We're not winning. It could be 1-1, it could be 0-0, and then we're getting frustrated. But I do believe we'll go through. I think part of me wants to believe is that the fact that given there was a little bit of negativity regarding the atmosphere at the weekend and stuff like that, and they'll
have a lot of fans. Yeah,
they'll have a lot of fans. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do think that there's just good luck to West Ham coming to Anfield tomorrow.
They're going to bring. They'll have the all bottom of the Anfield.
Well, yeah, it's the League Cup.
So,
yeah,
a lot of them.
Wow. This should be good.
Prediction?
I'm going to go 2-1, but then I'll say 3-1. We get one right at the end.
I think it'll be like a 3-2. It'll be a tough, loads of goals because teams are rotated and stuff.
I've gone for 2-2 and then pens.
I was thinking that's a great shout.
The Reds go through on pens. Backwards and pens, Jota. No, we won't be on with it. Kelleher, pens, penalty hero again. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. We'll see how it all goes. Guys, thanks very much for coming in to join us. All you lot at home, if you want to get involved with the watch along, it'll be me, El and Steve Plunk available on the YouTube channel. an hour and 15 minutes or so before kick-off reacting to the team news, and then from 15 minutes before kick-off right through the entire game and all the post-game stuff as well. So if you're watching alone and you want some other Liverpool fans to talk to and have a laugh with, and more important, listen to and have as well, rather than listen to crap commentators, come and get yourselves involved. Just mute the telly, sync up with us, get your coverage. You've got the live chat where you can converse with all other Liverpool fans as well. So do come and get yourselves involved with that, and we'll be back with more previews, Friday for the Arsenal game. See you all then.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a Legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos. Yes, redmenplus.com, Legend tier status.